Hi y'all, it's Susan at SusanMakes.com, and I am going to be doing a live today to show you how to make this card. Now give me a couple of minutes while I get this up on my tablet as well so that I can keep up with any comments that y'all may have. Let's see if I can get it pulled up. I got it, good. Okay, so we are going to make this adorable card today. Is the lighting okay in here? Is this better? Let me see. That's a little bit better, isn't it? All right, so we're going to be making this adorable card today. It's just an encouragement card, and I thought it was really cute. I had seen something that was a little bit similar. They had put like a big planet Earth, and they had this hang in there, and I thought, that's a cute idea. And I remembered I had these stamps, and I thought, I can recreate that in my own. So this is a card that we're going to be making today. For this card, you're going to need a piece of black cardstock. It's 11 inches by 4 1/4, and it's scored at 5 inches, or excuse me, 5.5 inches. And we're just going to go on and fold this and get it folded and out of the way. Score it. You're also going to need a piece of watercolor paper. This is cut 5.5 by 4 1/4. And then I like, when I color in with my alcohol markers, I like using I like to use artist marker paper. So that's what I'm going to be using, but you can use any kind of paper that you want. But that's what I'm using on this to stamp on the planets. So the first thing that we have to do, we're going to be using our Tombow dual pen markers. This is in the set Galaxy with the addition of a black pen, which I already have. And this is the Galaxy set. It's supposed to help make a galaxy. So we're going to start on this project. And I may need to actually turn that light on. Let's see. These are really bad glare, but I can see better. All right, so let me get sat down and we will start working on this project. All right, so I'm just going to be randomly getting a hold of the markers, and I'm just going to be randomly coloring. No rhyme, no reason, just kind of coloring in where I want a little bit of color in my galaxy. So this is really easy. You're going to see how easy this is for making a galaxy. I'm just going in and, like I said, I'm just doing random scribbles, and they don't have to be real big, just random scribbles throughout the paper. Just adding that color, because a galaxy is not just, flat black. It's got some colors to it, and it's really beautiful. I really have a real thing about galaxies. I love doing galaxies, and I do them in a variety of different mediums. For the longest time, I always did them in acrylic paints, but I found out about how to use these to make them, and I have been using this a lot lately. So now I'm just going to kind of go in and fill in the excess areas, the white areas, with the black pen. These are just the Tombow dual brush markers. They are water-based, so they react with water. So we're going to use them kind of as a watercolor in this instance, I guess. You're just going to color this all over. Now, y'all, I am going to be trying to go live a little bit more here lately because this whole coronavirus thing, a lot of us are staying home, including me, and staying home at least as much as we possibly can. And so I'm going to be spending some more time here in my craft room So I'm going to probably be sharing a lot more of some of the projects and stuff that I'm doing. So watch for a lot more lives, and watch them if you get a chance. I hope that you enjoy the tutorials that I give. I know that I may not be as slick as professional as some other people, but I have an honest love for crafting, and I like to help other people craft. So, that's something. I may not be as polished, but you'll still get hopefully some good information and some good tips and some ideas and things like that. So I am almost finished with this black one. Put some down here on the side. Now you'll see I'm just doing it right over my tonic Jim Holtz mat here. I like it a lot. So it really is cool. Are we even going live? Yeah, it says I'm live. Okay. Being a little slow over there on my tablet. It's still showing the same picture. Making encouragement, okay. It's live, okay. Well, I'm just gonna trust that y'all can see it. All right, so I've got this all scribbled up, and you're thinking that looks like a big mess, and it is. But when we're finished, it's going to look like a galaxy. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to squirt some water on the top of the card. Like I said, the Tombow markers, as you can already see, they are reactive to water. So I'm going to get me my bone folder to hold this down so I don't get it all over my hands. And I'm just going to go in with just a water brush. This is one of those that you fill up with water. And I'm just going to color, just kind of scribble that over this. Spread it around, make sure that all of that is good. So now you have a wet, it kind of looks like a muddy mess, but there is a method to my madness. Next, we're going to sprinkle on just a little bit of salt. And what the salt does is it absorbs some of the color from the ink. So you have these cute, I don't know if I'd say cute, but you will have these little blotchy areas that'll kind of absorb some of the paint or the ink. So I'm going to go on there with my heat gun and we're going to dry this. This may take a little while, and I know it's kind of loud and annoying. But we're just going to get this kind of dried up a little bit. I see a little corner here on there that I didn't get, so I go in here and tap that on there, get those covered. The water brush has enough ink on it that you can do that. As you can already see right here where the salt is absorbing some of the color, so it gives it kind of a little speckled appearance. And after we're done with this, we'll just brush that salt off because we won't need it anymore. And it'll brush right off. Dry. I'm going to dry the back a little bit, and then I'll wipe my table down. Alright. So we got that done, so I'm going to go in and wipe my table down really quick. Just a handy dandy little diaper wipe. Okay, that looks like that's good. I'm going to dry it with a paper towel. Alright, so we just don't transfer. So the next thing that I'm going to do, I'm actually going to lay down a sheet of paper towels to kind of absorb some of the next step. There's still a little bit wet here on the sides. I'm going to dry it real quick. Alright, I think that's pretty much dry. So now we're going to need to brush off the salt. As you can see, it just comes off. You can brush it off. I'm going to just do it over the trash can here. And you can take a little piece of paper towel to kind of help brush that all off. And so what you're left with is a piece that looks like this. And that's really a neat looking look, but we're going to add some more little details. One of the things that we're going to use is some perfect pearls because we want to kind of give it a little bit of a sheen. I put it a half a teaspoon of the perfect pearls, which is the perfect pearl color of the perfect pearls, in a Jim Holtz distress sprayer. Shake it up before every use, and you just spray it. Now, remember, this ink is reactive to water, so you're going to want to roll it off. So I just take a piece of paper towel and I just roll it like this to get the big blobs off. So it gives the card front, even more texture, as you can see. You can see it's already got a nice shimmer. I just wish that you could see it on film as well as what it looks like in person. Then, to make it a little bit more depth to it, we're going to use a little bit of the Dylusions ink spray. This is in London Blue. And I'm not going to use much of this. I'm just going to kind of squirt. Oops, I got a big blob right there. And I'm just going to use the paper towels again, and we're just going to blot off the excess. And that just adds just a little bit more dimension to the card. And we've got some nice blue spray right there. Let me get this kind of cleaned up a little bit. To transfer. And I knocked off my tablet. So let's fix that back up here. There we go. Alright, so as you see, it's got this beautiful, beautiful texture to it and depth. So now the only thing that we need to do now is we need to add our stars, which are put on with white acrylic ink, or white acrylic paint. We're just going to take a little piece of paper here, and I'm going to put in just a little bit of paint, and we're just going to go on and we're just going to put a little bit of the paint on there. And I need to get a paintbrush real quick. You grab one. You want to just use an old scrubby paintbrush for this. You don't want anything fancy. The other option is a toothbrush, which is actually what I'm going to use in this instance. I'm going to use a toothbrush. And this, you're going to get a little messy, but I take it and go like this and just flick it. And this gives it the illusion of stars. So just like that. Throw that out of the way. Put the toothbrush down. And let's clean off the white paint off of my finger. Alright, so we have this really, really pretty background. So now we need to just let this dry really well. So I'm going to set this off to the side, and we're going to start work on our planets. Got my scratch piece of paper. All right, so we're going to be using these scrap pieces of paper. I'm already finished with these. I can put these up. So let me go on and put these up real quick so they are out of the way. No point in just leaving them down here, taking up space on the desktop. All right, so we are going to use for our planets, it's from a stamp set called Over the Moon. It's by Sweet and Sassy Stamps. It's a really adorable little astronaut. He's really cute. So we're going to go on and stamp these, and we're going to just stamp them with our regular Memento ink. And I'm just going to use a stamp block. We're going to have to do these and then fussy cut them out. So I'm just stamping them down. The different planets. Putting those over in my stamp chamois to clean off. And then this one's kind of a little moon. And I would have to stamp it on a different one. Alright, so we've got those all stamped. Didn't use that one, so I'm going to set it aside. Okay, so now we're going to start coloring in our planets. So I'm going to start with the moon, and I'm going to decide the left side is the side that's going to have shadow. So we're going to shadow on this side. I'm using the Stampin' Blends alcohol markers. I like them because there's a light and dark of each color, so it makes it really, really easy for matching colors. I do not sell for them, I just use them. They are really nice. So I'm going to go in with the light color first. I'm going to go in with the brush side. And I'm going to start coloring in our little moon here. So how are y'all doing? Are y'all going stir crazy like I have been? It's hard to stay home when you're used to going out all the time, and this coronavirus stuff has got everybody locked in the house, and which I agree. I think that we need to stay away from people as much as we possibly can so we're not spreading the disease, but unfortunately we all know we have to go out sometimes. Food, groceries, finding toilet paper. So I'm just going to go in here and just kind of color in these little spots. And those will get blended out. Then I'm going to go back in with the lighter color. This is, by the way, a light and dark gray granite. I'm just going to spread that out, kind of create a little shadow. I think it needs a little bit more shading. I like coloring with alcohol markers. You can create such pretty images. Okay, so we're going to set that one aside. Now we're going to come in and color this one. We're going to start in with the yellow, and this is in the light and dark Mango Melody. Oops, I don't want to use that end. I like the brush ends better, except when I'm doing detail work. So we're just going to color these guys in. Now we're going to go in with the dark Mango Melody, and we're going to create some shading. Just color this all in. Get the shading nice. And I go back in with the dark. I just keep playing between the two colors to get the effect that I want. I really like this artist marker paper because it does not bleed as bad as some other papers, which is really nice. Okay, so we've used those. Now we're going to go in with the light and dark pumpkin pie, and we're going to color the circle around it, the around this planet. We're going to go in with the dark pumpkin pie, and we're going to add that little bit of shadow color, darken it up a little bit. And of course, go back. It's just a matter of going back and forth between the two colors to get the desired effect. That's why I like these, is because they are so simple to match the colors for doing the shading. Alright, so now we have our last little planet. We're going to color the planet itself in, not the rings, in the dark and light night of navy. And we're just going to color in this planet. So what fun things have y'all been doing? That's what I want to know. I've been spending a lot of time here in my craft room. A lot of time with my family, which is a good thing. It's always nice to spend the time with your family. So maybe that's something that's good out of all of this coronavirus stuff, is we're getting to spend some time with our families. That's nice. I get to spend some extra time in my craft room. Spend extra time with the Lord, doing a lot of prayer and Bible study. Have extra time on our hands, why not? And I think it's really would be a good, beneficial thing for us all to be praying for our country and the world. So much going on. It's always good to take those things to God in prayer. Sometimes I find myself in here in my craft room and it's quiet. My husband's got some college classes that he's taking online, and I'll get in here. My son will be homeschooling. I'll be in here, and I find myself often just kind of start praying as I'm working. Somebody will come to mind and I'll start praying for them, or I'll just be praying for the world in general, or all sorts of things. We're just almost finished with the coloring in. This one isn't as neat as I would have liked it, but that's okay. We're going to go in here and add a little bit of the shading where you think there would be shading. All right. So those are finished. Let me get these put up and out of the way so we're not messing with them anymore. I try to put away after I finish crafting. It helps me to stay a little more organized, because I tend to be very disorganized, and I'll end up with a desk covered with a million different projects, and if I don't put them up. So I try to put things up. All right, so we've got those done. The only other thing that we're going to do is we're going to go in with the clear glitter pen, or glitter brush pen. It's Wink of Stella. And I'm going to go on and cover these with some of this clear glitter to add some more sparkle to the card. And I think it just adds a nice touch to the card. So we're just going to color that in with the Wink of Stella. Just like so. I think this, I love the Wink of Stella. I hardly ever get a card done that doesn't have a little bit of Wink of Stella somewhere, especially the clear. It just adds the right amount of sparkle, and it just looks super, super nice. All right, so we got those done. So now all we have to do is fussy cut these out. So I'm going to start with this one because it's the one that's probably the driest. And we're just going to fussy cut out these planets. Not my most favorite part of card making or crafting, fussy cutting. One of these days I would like to be able to get a brother scan and cut. But in the meantime, I am just using what I've got, which is a pair of scissors and my fingers in my hand. Giving me the tools that God has given me. Alright, so we got the moon cut out. So let's cut out this planet down here. Thankfully, these are really pretty simple shapes, and so the fussy cutting does not take a whole lot of time. It's all rainy and gray outside today. Be nice to have some sunshine again. I'll get these all cut out. I know, this is riveting TV, watching people fussy cut. I don't know, maybe somebody enjoys it. If you enjoy it, let me know. If you enjoy watching fussy cutting. Okay, so we're going to cut out this last planet. This is really not a hard card to put together. These steps are really pretty easy. There's not anything too elaborate. It's just a matter of having the right tools. Having those pens, the Tombow dual ink pens. You could do this background without the Dylusions ink, and you can certainly do it without the Perfect Pearl spray. I just think it adds a nice dimension to it. Look how pretty that turned out. I think it's actually prettier than the other one. Alright, so we're going to let that sit over there. So now we are going to take a hole puncher. And I don't know what size this is, but it's a very small hole. I don't know if you can see that, but it's a very small hole puncher. So I'm going to just, there's the shading there on the left. I'm going to just punch a hole in the top. Shading on the left. Hole in the top. And we're going to hang these. There we go. So we're just going to use some regular baker's twine. This isn't anything fancy. I'm going to use double-sided tape. I'm going to put a little bit of the double-sided tape over this once we get it threaded through the hole. This is a very small hole, so you may have to really twist it and get it to a point to get it through. There we go. I've got it on the back. I just take a little piece of the double-sided tape, which we're going to actually use that double-sided tape to attach it to the card itself. But I just put it over, pull this down a little bit. I just put it over the baker's twine like that, and that holds the baker's twine in place. We'll peel that off and use that to stick to the card. So I'm just going to measure off a little bit for the hanging part. And we're just going to do that on all three of our little planets. So they will have their string in there hanging down. Cut a little piece, one more. Get good and kind of a pointed end on it. Get it through the hole. And then find the side of my double-sided tape. There it is. Alright, so we're just going to, we've got those taped down. I'm going to cut off a little piece here. There we go. And then cut off a piece of the baker's twine, and we are done with that. So we're going to take this now, And across the top, we're going to put just a strip of the double-sided tape. This is going to hold the strings to the back, the baker's twine to the back, so we can get our planets aligned. All right, so we're just going to peel off that side of that double-sided tape. Oops. There we go. All right, so where do I want this planet to sit? Let's set them on here first. Go like that. One's going to go up like this, and then one's going to kind of sit like that. So we're going to take off this double-sided tape, and I want this planet kind of tilted like this. And then this is just going to go to the back, and it's going to stick on that double-sided tape. We're going to do the same thing with this moon. We're just going to hang it where we kind of want it. Oops, let's even it up here. There we go. That's just going to go onto the back side. And then our final little planet here is just going to go, and I'm going to kind of hang it a little bit lower, kind of like this. And then that thread is going to go into the back. So now we have the strings hanging off here on the back. I just go in and trim them at this point. And because I don't want this sticking to everything while I'm continuing to work on the front, I'm going to just take my embossing buddy bag, which has got powder in it, and I'm just going to tap that on the sticky, and that keeps it from sticking. So that's an easy little tip. So now I'm just going to need my Misty, and I'm going to just put the image in here. We want it to lay good and flat in case we have to stamp it again, so we're going to use as many pieces of magnet as we need to get that to hold that down. I have some more somewhere. There they are. I don't know if I can separate them though, because they got all stuck together. Let's see if I can scoot one off. Aha, there we go. All right, so now we're going to stamp the sentiment. Now the sentiment that we're using is from the Simon Says stamp by CZ Designs. It's You Got This. And this is the saying. It says, hang in there, friend. So we're going to place that on there where we want it. Right about there, I think. Maybe up just a slightly. Something more like that. All right. I'm going to pick that up. And we're going to use our Versamark ink, because this is going to be embossed in white on there. So we're just going to stamp that down. And we're probably going to want to do it a couple of times to make sure that it is on there good. The imprint is really good because we want the embossing powder to stick really, really good to this image. So let me stand up and put good pressure on this next time. All right. So let's take off these magnets. I want to set this aside. Then we're going to come in with our white embossing powder, and I'm just going to go with a little, again, our piece of paper here that we keep reusing. And I'm just going to put the white embossing powder. I'm using opaque, bright white, superfine embossing powder by Wow. We're just going to cover this area. Tap it off. See if there's any place that still needs a little bit more, or if there's some that needs to be brushed off. There's a little bit that can be brushed off right here. I think it needs a little bit right there. Brush off the excess. Now, with this background, the excess isn't such a big deal because the white speckles that are in there from the stars that we put on there, made with the acrylic paint. All right, so now we're going to just heat this up with our heat gun. And for some reason, my heat gun, oh, it's not plugged in. Came unplugged. All right, we're just going to heat this and melt the embossing powder. Alright, so we've got that on there. So now the last thing that we have to do is just to mount it to our cardstock card base. And you're going to want to put something heavy on it to make sure that it sticks down flat because it is a little warped because of the water. I'm just going to put in a little bit of my art glitter glue. I love this stuff. This is probably the best glue I've ever used. I have not had anything come up from my cards since I began using this glue. And before, I used to always have things falling off the cards. And I don't know what it is, but this glue is so good. All right, so now I'm just going to back these two up together. Get them lined up at the bottom, get them lined up at the side, get pressed down. And then I'm going to have to put something hard on top of it for a little bit to get it down there. I will use my Bible, which is the heaviest book I have in here. Well, it's actually not the heaviest book. The heaviest book I have in here is the my Strong's Accordance, but I didn't want to have to pull it down. So we're just going to let this sit there for a couple of minutes and let that get good and flat on there with a little bit of glue. And there you have it. You have this really, really cute card, kind of an encouragement card to send to a friend. I'm going to turn this light out now that I don't need it, so maybe you can see it a little bit better. It says, "Hang in there, friend." And on the inside, you can put whatever sentiment that you would like. I often don't put sentiments on mine until right before I mail them out to personalize them as much as I can. So that is the simple card. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you have any questions or comments, just leave them below and I will try to answer them as soon as I can. So y'all have a good day. Bye.